Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. What we do around here is bring about conversations of a psychological, emotional, mental health, spiritual health, and coaching related paradigm. We try to do that as often as we can with almost 800 audios available on a variety of topics. We try to update multiple times per week. If you're looking for coaching about overcoming mental or emotional challenges with people in your life, and or you're looking for recovery from dealing with something that's been toxic, this can be a great audio for you. Also, if you're interested in reaching out for coaching, would love to be of assistance to you if that's possible, please feel free to reach out on Twitter at PO Perception or in the About Me section of this YouTube page. Either way will get you in touch with me, and then we can move from there. So, if we are looking at signs that someone is narcissistic or traits in a narcissistic person, that is the audio that we're going to be looking at here today. The first thing is that individual is always right. The level of security that a narcissist operates on is often very fake and plastic. However, they have the world believing that, in fact, they are more secure than the average person. They very rarely, if at all, show any level of social, weakness or lack of knowledge. This is because their power is the illusion that they have control over all things at all times. This illusion is something they pursue so deeply that they don't even realize that it alienates people from wanting to be friends with them or get to know them on a deeper level, because at the end of the day, the other person feels condemned or judged or in somehow negatively affected. These individuals do not realize how they come across, and more often than not don't care. A narcissist is always looking for more, which means they're never satisfied. This means that they are always looking for more money, more power, more fame, more fortune, more influence, more attention, more focus. And so, even when things are going well, one can expect the narcissistic personality archetype to be a person who is always looking for the best way to continue to expand. This means that you're constantly chasing with them the idea that, well, maybe if this happens, they will be happy. Maybe if this happens, they will be happy. But in reality, the happiness is fleeting. It's only a momentary emotion, and it's more based on the leveraging of accomplishment than it is actual joy or peace or happiness. The next thing to consider is that people with narcissistic tendency are, in fact, more towards selfish. They don't really care about the connections they have with other people. Now, being able to simulate that they care or being able to make it appear that they care is something they're very capable of doing. As a matter of fact, many people with narcissistic or dark triad personality types will be able to study the behaviors of others and the misbehaviors of others, and then cultivate a personality archetype that allows them to appear genuine, caring, empathetic, which is another sign. A person who has that tendency has very little, if any, empathy at any level, and the reality that they are not always in control is something they don't want to confront. So the selfish nature, where they will actually fight the idea that they are selfish by actually turning it around and gaslighting the other person into believing that they themselves are the selfish one, can also be a source of not only power struggle but control. If a person feels that they are falsely reading a person, they're more likely to step back, which means the narcissistic personality archetype is able to continue to win at the power struggle and the power struggle game that is evident in nearly everything that they do and the way in which they conduct themselves. So the next thing is jealousy. So an individual who is wanting a constant attention upon themselves is obviously going to deal with struggles related to jealousy. This individual is not going to be comfortable when someone else has other relationships that make them feel secure, or a job that could enable them to leave, or a level of interest that make them seem less important. So the narcissistic individual is always going to look for ways to separate their loved one, or family, or friends from anything that they enjoy that doesn't include the narcissistic abuser. These individuals often don't realize that they're acting in a childish way, and the sense of entitlement they have usually comes from childhood wounds that never properly healed. Personally, having worked with thousands of these individuals and being raised by at least one, potentially two, I've learned that these individuals obviously do not have the ability to see themselves objectively, and the willingness to do so requires a level of humility that many times these individuals are not able to reach. The jealousy factor only increases the different stages of life that a person goes through, and that creates more problems in the long run. The next is power related goals. So the goals aren't related to actual happiness. They're related to the illusion of power sought after by the narcissistic individual. These goals are usually based on the idea that if I have more power, I have more influence and no one can hurt me. Understand that the narcissistic individual is trying to protect themselves from being hurt at any cost and will continue to do so until they feel they have won over a person at least well enough where they have leverage in any given situation. Hopefully this is helpful. I encourage you to keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.